All right, so your tree, I would make your picture tall ways like this. You do not have to, but if you want to have more space for your tree, you probably should. I'm also drawing in a marker today so you can see better on the screen. Pencil just doesn't show up great. Your tree should come up either halfway or about 2/3 up your paper. What I mean by that is if you folded your paper in half, half would be there. And if you folded your paper in threes, kind of like a brochure, there's 3 sections here. This is 2/3. All right. You don't want your tree to be any higher than this because you're going to run out of room. And if it's lower than that, you're just going to have all this extra sky space that you don't need. All right. So decide, are your roots really big? Do they start here and kind of come in like that? Are your roots a little bit smaller and start closer together and you have a little skinnier trunk? You decide. All right. I'm going to make my roots kind of medium. All right. Just think about a curved line. We look at tree roots all day, every day without even knowing it. Think about how many trees you pass in a day. All right. And then I'm going to come pretty kind of straight, honestly. Up. And I'm going to stop. It's going to look like it's not done. It's not done. Don't worry. All right. After you get that, you're going to draw a shape. I would not choose a square or rectangle shape. You could choose triangle, circle, oval. You could probably even do a heart if you wanted to. That could look okay. A cloud shape. I have these sitting here from a 5th grade project and an octagon shape, 8 sides there. You decide. I'm going to do a circle. So I'm going to very carefully draw a pretty big circle. Think about this as the leaves and branches of the tree. You know how some trees kind of almost look like lollipops where they have the trunk and then it comes out into a circle? This is going to be your leaves and branches. After you get your circle drawn, you are then going to add your branches. Your branches are going to come off the tree and only go to the edge of whatever shape that you drew. So if you drew a triangle, your branches would only go to the triangle line that you drew. Notice I am not going outside the bubble. All right. Also, if this was in pencil, I probably would go back and erase that, which y'all can do. See that line there? It should look more like that. But no worries. You are just adding all of these branches. Whenever I think of branches, and I even remember this from my elementary school art teacher, she would always say that branches always Y. All right? So draw your branches to the edge there. All right. Then you are almost done for the day, except if you get to this point, the next step will be to draw your grid lines. So all you have to do, this is pretty easy. You are going to use your ruler, all right, and you're going to simply trace lines directly across the paper. Okay, it is easy because you're just holding the ruler in place and drawing a line, but it is a good skill for you to practice actually holding the ruler still. And I can tell when you rush through this. Anyone that looks at your artwork will be able to tell that you were kind of careless when you did this part, because if you used a ruler, the lines would be straight. So I am going to match, and I'm going to get closer so you can see this. Match this line of the ruler, side of the ruler up here with the edge of the paper. And I'm going to basically cover it. And the ruler needs to be matched up from the top of the picture, middle of the picture and bottom of the picture. And then I'm going to draw a line. And yes, you are drawing a line through your tree and shape drawing. So I am lining this up again. Using a ruler always takes 2 hands. So I've got it lined up. It's lined up at the top, middle, and bottom. I'm going to use my left hand because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to use my non-dominant hand to hold it in place. And notice I'm not just using one finger like this. Look, I wiggled it out of the way. I'm using my whole hand, my fingers spread apart to hold this in place, hold it still. And then I will draw a line again. And you are going to continue this all the way across your paper. If your ruler does not fit, like say it's not up there, you just need to bump the bottom up a little bit because these rulers are perfectly the size of your paper. If this ruler is a foot long, how many inches is your paper? Let's see who knows that. All right. It won't be perfect at the end, no worries, okay? So I've done this way, and then you're going to do it and turn and go the other direction, all right? You're gonna do the same thing. So line up those edges, bada bing, bada boom. I'm using 2 hands, I'm drawing a line. I'm lining up top, middle, bottom. I'm using kind of pivoting, see like this, and then we will draw a line. This does take a little bit of time. It is technical. This is not an activity that you can really be looking around the classroom and talking with your neighbors while you are doing it. I need your focus to be on the ruler, your pencil, and your magnificent artwork. Okay? I'm drawing these lines quickly because I don't want to waste your time, but honestly, you should be going slower than this and really making sure that these lines are straight. I also have had a lot of practice using rulers anyway. All right, once you get to this point, you are done. Yours will look a little, actually it's gonna look a lot better than mine is because mine's done in the Sharpie, because I would go back and erase some of these lines through the trees.